Even with a nice 23% rally year to date, there is still a lot of room for CRO to run if it does want to make a retest of those previous all-time highs. To be more specific, if CRO does want to retest 95 cents, it would actually have to make a move of 1290% to the upside. So in today's video, we are going to break down why I am still bullish on CRO coin, as well as map out some price predictions for this project. What is up, investors, and welcome back to the Everything Crypto Show, where we keep you up to speed on the most important news moving the crypto markets. Now, before we hop into the content, make sure to hit that sub, like, and notification bell if you have not already. And with that, we're going to start things off here with the question of the day. So today, I want to know, what price are you looking to sell your CRO coin at? Let me know in the YouTube comments down below. And on the other side of things, if you do not own any CRO coin yet, what price would you be looking to buy your first bag at? And the reason we are asking this question is because today's topic video is going to be surrounding my personal price predictions for CRO. So I want to know what you guys think first, so let me know in the YouTube comments down below. And the reason we are asking this question and kind of making this video in the first place is because of the video I made on Friday. So this video was titled, "Is it still possible for CRO coin to hit $1? Crypto.com growth and Cronos analysis." And I asked you at the end of the video if you wanted to see an updated price prediction video for CRO to let me know in the comments, and there were a ton of comments asking for an updated price prediction video, so that is exactly what I'm looking to bring to you guys today. Now, as for what we kind of discussed in that video, and the reason I think a lot of people are really bearish on CRO recently, does have to do with two main things. I think the first thing here is the price action, right? So CRO coin right now is up 23% on a year-to-date basis. Well, meanwhile, if we actually take a look at Bitcoin on a year-to-date basis, it is up over 72%, and that is reflected here in the CRO versus Bitcoin CRO versus Bitcoin valuation here, which we can see is down about 30% on a year-to-date basis. That is to say that CRO has gone down versus Bitcoin about 30%. And obviously, this is very frustrating for people because it means that as of the beginning of 2023, you could have simply just bought the biggest blue chip in the crypto industry in the form of Bitcoin and actually made more money than if you had bought CRO. Now, the first point I made, and one that I do want to reiterate here, is that it is not only the case for CRO. If we actually take a look here at the Bitcoin dominance and then move it onto a 5-year basis, you're going to notice that Bitcoin dominance is on the verge of a major breakout at the moment, and this means that majority of the altcoins have actually underperformed Bitcoin on a year-to-date basis. And the second negative point towards CRO is the fact that the Cronos chain has recently fallen out of the top 10 blockchains in terms of total value locked. And on top of that, it has really flatlined and actually been slowly bleeding out since about November of last year, when it was at about 458 million in TVL, now down to about 383 million. And then if we actually take a look here, even at the Cronos valuation in terms of CRO, you're going to see that at the beginning of the year, there was about 6.91 billion CRO coin circulating in the Cronos chain, and that is now down to about 5.53 billion. So I wanted to kind of start things off with the two bearish cases for CRO, because I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm not here to tell you guys that the project is perfect. What I am here to tell you guys is that despite what a lot of the bears have been focusing on, I do believe there are still a lot of reasons to be bullish on this project, and that is what we are going to get into in this video. And then we're going to hop into the price predictions near the tail end. So the first thing I do want to kind of mention here is the growth of Crypto.com briefly, and that is the fact that based on this post here from January 14th of 2022, so about a year and a quarter ago, they said they had 10 million users. Then as of May of 2022, they passed the 50 million user mark, and as of today, they are currently sitting at 80 million users. And I do believe that a big reason for the user growth has to do with a lot of the regulation that Crypto.com has been receiving throughout the bear market. I think they are set to be a prime beneficiary of the next wave of crypto users that are inevitably going to hop back into the markets when things are bullish again. Right now, we are in a bear market. Bear markets are for building, and the bull markets are when we actually do see that expansion as tons of new people and tons of new capital flow into the crypto industry. Now, it is worth noting, and something I did mention in Friday's video as well, that just because Crypto.com grows, it does not mean that CRO coin itself has to grow. There has to actually be incentive for people joining the Crypto.com platform to go ahead and own its native token. And there are two key things I do want to address when it comes to this. The first one is the Crypto.com Visa program, which does actually incentivize you to lock up a certain amount of CRO in return for these visas, which in my opinion, even after the nerfs that we did see last year, there's still some of the best crypto visas available on the market. So we can see here that for locking up 5,000 Canadian or 4,000 USD worth of CRO, you get the Royal Indigo and Jade Green Visa, which gets you eligible for 2% cashback up to $50 American equivalents. Then the Frosted Rose Gold and Icy White, you have to actually lock up 40,000 USD worth of CRO, and for the Obsidian Black, it is 400,000 USD worth of CRO that you need to lock up for the Visa. The Frosted Rose Gold and Icy White offers 3% cashback, and the Obsidian offers 5% cashback, and this is given out in CRO coin rewards. Now, one thing that I do think was intentional in the design of these visas, and something I do kind of want to talk about quickly, is the fact that the lower CRO coin goes, the more you actually have to lock up to be eligible for this card. So for example, here we can see that let's do 4,000 USD divided by let's say CRO is at 40 cents, right? So if you wanted to lock up 4,000 USD worth of CRO for the Visa, you would have to lock up 10,000 CRO. Now let's go ahead and say 4,000 USD divided by the current price of CRO, coming in at about 0.068, so that's about 6.8 cents. And now you have to lock up 58.8 thousand CRO for this Visa. So effectively, the lower that CRO goes, the more you have to actually lock up in return for this card to get these rewards. And it's also worth noting that the lockup does only last for 180 days, so for a 6-month period. However, if you actually unstake your CRO from this Visa, you lose the vast majority of these benefits. The cashback on everything below the Frosted Rose Gold and Icy White is completely gone. The Frosted Rose Gold and Icy White only offers 1% cashback, and the Obsidian Black only offers 2% cashback. So a very interesting seesaw effect here, where the higher the price of CRO, the less you have to lock up, but the lower the price of CRO, the more you have to lock up for the Visa. And based on my personal experience as well as what I have seen, most people who do tend to lock up their CRO coin for the Visa do keep it in there for the nice rewards. And I do believe this is a very intentional business strategy from Crypto.com, not only to incentivize you to join the platform and to own their native token, but also to hold their native token to continue receiving these additional benefits and rewards. And this leads us into the Crypto.com exchange. This is not to be confused with the main app that is currently available in the United States. This exchange is not yet available in the US, and this is meant to be for much more, let's say, like sophisticated or experienced traders. It offers lower trading fees as well as the ability to trade on spot and margin, allowing you to trade up to 5x leverage. And this is where things get very juicy, because it is not, I mean, once again, the actual adoption of the Crypto.com exchange when it does roll out in the US does not necessarily mean that people will be looking to buy CRO coin unless they are actually incentivizing you to lock up your CRO on the exchange in the form of trading rebates. And that is exactly what they have done here. So it says here, in order to lock up CRO on the Crypto.com exchange, you'll first need to have CRO in your exchange wallet, select lock up and earn, and then go to lock up CRO now, and your available CRO balance will be displayed to show the maximum CRO amount available for lockup. So you can see here that if you actually have locked up over 50,000 CRO, you are going to be getting a 4% staking yield on this, as well as 0 fees on the maker fees. If you have anywhere between 100,000 and 500,000 CRO locked up, you are still getting 4% APR, but now you are actually getting a 0.01 basis point rebate on all your trades. So you are effectively getting paid on that maker fee. And then for over 500,000 CRO staked, you are getting a 0.02 basis point rebate and an 8% staking yield per annum. So you can see here once again, I think a very intentional move by Crypto.com to actually incentivize you to lock up your CRO on the exchange to get those juicy 0 fees or even trading rebates. And it was announced actually in March of last year that this rollout did begin for select institutional investors. This means that for about just over a year now at this point, that some institutions have been able to access and use this platform. I think that Crypto.com is definitely targeting bigger money when it does come to this exchange, and I do think that this is the reason for these trading rebates. I mean, you got to figure, for these big money players trading millions, potentially billions worth of dollars on the exchange, hopefully, I mean, even a 0.01 basis point rebate on $1 million is still a lot of money for them to be getting back per trade, and definitely could be incentivizing for them to lock up CRO if they are going going to be using this exchange as their main trading platform. Now, the last thing I do want to talk about here is the crypto.org chain, and this is a very important one, something I do think contributes a lot to the bullish case, as well as the price predictions of CRO. So just bear with me here as we work through this, because you're going to see that the amount of CRO that is locked up on this chain does have massive implications for the price action. So despite the fact that the Cronos chain has fallen out of the top 10 blockchains in terms of TVL, the crypto.org chain has been growing fairly steady here. I remember at some point last year we were still in the 4 billion CRO range actually staked, and we are now up to 5.52 billion CRO locked up on this platform. Even from March 3rd of 2023 to come in at 5.43 billion, I mean, that's about 90 million CRO that was added to this crypto.org chain to stake over the past month essentially. And I actually want to go ahead and go to the crypto.org Explorer here. And you're going to understand why people are actually locking up their CRO on this blockchain. And the big reason, honestly, is just the very juicy double-digit staking yield that is being offered at the moment. You can see here that two of the largest validators for this network are currently offering a 10.92% yield on your CRO. That is nothing to shrug off. I mean, a double-digit APR on your CRO is definitely a very juicy yield. So effectively, you can do something like have the Visa and then move this CRO from the Visa to the crypto.org chain and begin to earn a double-digit yield on all of that cash back you've been getting from the crypto.com Visa program. And that is how CRO does kind of have that very nice self-sustaining and passive income ecosystem. And we can actually see here that I think this has really been a main contributor to the growth of the crypto.org chain is the very nice yield that it does offer. And that is why we can see at the moment that 5.517 billion CRO is currently locked up on this chain, and that equates to 21.23% of all CRO currently in circulation. So let's go ahead here and go over to CRO Coin, and according to CoinMarketCap, it says that it has a current circulating supply of 25.2 billion and a total supply of 30.2 billion, meaning that about 83% of all CRO is currently in circulation, with 17%, or otherwise known as 5 billion in terms of this metric, is still left to be dumped on the public market. And this is where we get into the price prediction portion of this video and why we begin to understand how the actual 5.5 billion CRO locked up on the crypto.org chain does make a massive difference here. So I think that when we're kind of talking about CRO in terms of the price action, the coin that I do most often like to compare it to is the BNB coin. And there's two reasons for that. The first one is that BNB is also the native exchange token of the Binance exchange, very similar to how CRO coin is the native token of the crypto.com exchange. And secondly, BNB is also the native token of the Binance Smart Chain, just as CRO is the native blockchain token of both the crypto.org chain and the Cronos chain. So lots of comparisons to be drawn between these two coins. And if you do believe that CRO can someday reach the market cap and the adoption of the BNB coin, then this is where the price predictions do get very, very interesting. According to CoinMarketCap at the moment, BNB coin is trading at a $49.67 billion market cap. And this is the first thing I do want to address here, is that when it comes to CRO versus BNB, we cannot be looking at the price. The matter of fact is that CRO coin will most likely never reach the price that BNB reaches, and that simply has to do with the supply of these two tokens. So BNB currently has a circulating supply of 157 million, while CRO has a circulating supply of 25.2 billion. This means that each BNB is worth more, while each CRO coin is worth less, simply because BNB is much more scarce than CRO coin itself. However, the flip side of this is that because BNB is already so big, that CRO coin does still have a lot of room to catch up in terms of market cap, and that is why it is still worth comparing these two cryptocurrencies, but not by price, by the actual market value and market capitalization of these two tokens. So the market cap of BNB at the moment comes in at 49.67 billion, and taking a look here at the coin perspective, we can see that if Cronos had a market cap of 49.7 billion, that one CRO would be worth $1.97, an upside of 28x from the current levels of 0.069. So you can see right off the bat here that if CRO was to just hit the current market cap of BNB, that we would actually see about 28x upside, about a whole dollar above the previous all-time high at 95 cents, and that one CRO coin would be worth just under $2 at $1.97 per CRO. Crow. Now, what I do want to go ahead and take a look at next is where BNB was at the peak of the bull run in November of last year, and that actually comes in at around a $108.43 billion market cap. And now if we head back over to the coin perspective and manually input BNB back at the previous all-time high market cap of 108.4 billion, that actually gives Cronos a price target of $4.29, an upside of 61x from the current price targets. So using the current circulating supply of CRO coin and BNB, if Cronos was to hit the current market cap of BNB, it would come in at a $1.97. If Cronos was to hit the all-time high market cap of BNB at 108.4 billion, one CRO coin would be valued at $4.29 each. Now here is where I do want to bring the crypto.org chain back into the picture, because we can see that at the moment 5.5 billion of the circulating supply of CRO is in fact locked up via the crypto.org chain. Now the reason this is relevant is because once your CRO is locked up on this chain, if you actually want to get it back, you have to go through a 28-day unbonding period, effectively meaning that even if everybody staking at the moment wanted that CRO back, they would have to wait 4 weeks to actually get it back in their wallet. So for the sake of this argument, we are going to factor in the CRO coin here that is effectively removed from the public float at the moment, as it is in fact locked up and validating the network. So if we take the current circulating supply here on the coin perspective of 25.3 billion CRO and reduce that by 5.5 billion, that actually brings us down to about a 19.8 billion circulating supply for CRO. And this is where the price assumptions do begin to really show you, or rather where you begin to see how tokenomics do affect the actual price implications for CRO coin. So now if we factor in the 5.5 billion CRO removed from the float and assume a circulating supply of 19.8 billion, if Cronos was to reach BNB's current market cap of 49.67 bill, this would actually be worth $2.50, an upside of 35x. So compared to a $1.97, we are now looking at $2.51 here for one CRO coin. And then if we actually go ahead and do what we had done previously and bring CRO back to that the all-time high market cap of BNB, this now brings us up to a market, or rather a price value of $5.47 per CRO coin, an upside of 78x from current levels. So you can begin to see why I have actually brought the crypto.org chain into the equation here. I do think it is very relevant to note that about over a fifth of the CRO circulating supply is in fact locked up on this chain, and that does make a very big difference in terms of the future price action of CRO coin itself. Now, we did address how the tokenomics of CRO coin, obviously because they are much higher, it does mean that Cronos I don't think is going to hit the actual prices of BNB. However, when we actually factor in the amount that is locked up here via the crypto.org chain, I think the argument does become much more compelling for why I think CRO can in fact revisit those previous all-time highs and even break into new all-time highs, assuming that the crypto.com team does continue to grow their platform, that they do continue to incentivize people to purchase CRO and lock it up on the platform, and that they do also put more attention and development towards the crypto.org chain as well as the Cronos chain. So without further ado, I hope you guys did enjoy the content in today's video. You know what to do. If you made it all the way to the end, you are an absolute champion. Let me know in the YouTube comments down below and claim that champion status. I hope you are all having an amazing Sunday, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.